Live from the Monster Mile Dover Motor Speedway, good evening and welcome to round 4 of Season 2 of the Challenger Cup Series here in 2025. My name is Dawson Wise. You're joining me from high above the tricky 1 mile oval here in Dover, Delaware. It's Dover Motor Speedway, the host of tonight's 4th race of the Challenger Cup Series season. After back-to-back road courses, it's time to get back to what we know best, and that's making left turns. And tonight, that run begins with a run at Dover. The track is hot, the tires wear quickly, drivers have struggled with handling. This should be a very interesting one tonight from Dover Motor Speedway. Glad you've joined us on a Tuesday night. Again, my name is Dawson Wise, and you're watching live coverage of the Challenger Cup Series here on PGR eSports. Cannot wait to get into this one tonight. A big week and a half upcoming for PGR eSports as a company, and also for the Challenger Cup Series as well. We'll get into why this week is so big for PGR coming up in just a little bit. Get you prepped for all the activities coming up over the next 10 days. But glad to have everybody with us and happy to be here at Dover. It's 160 laps tonight on the board, a stage break at lap 40, and only 3 extra sets of tires in the pits with a track temp north of 120 degrees. This should be one of the most technically challenging races for the drivers of the Challenger Cup Series tonight, and boy, should it be a lot of fun. Qualifying on the racetrack is about to wrap up. That means we're about to head trackside, and it's almost time to get underway for the first time here tonight from Dover Downs. Cannot wait again for this race. Cannot wait for the week ahead, 2 weeks ahead for PGR, and so happy that you've decided to spend it with me. Drivers getting on the grid. Let's head down trackside. It's time to get this one fired off from Dover. We'll start as we always do with the starting grid live from Dover, Delaware. And on the pole tonight for race 4 of the Challenger Cup Series season, the 23.742 second lap, it's the 5 of Matt Hayden. To his outside, it'll be the 77, one of the hotshot rookies in the field, Garrett Caswell. Good start to his Challenger Cup Series career, looking to pick up where he left off last week in Sonoma. Good run, finally got to finish where he ran in this series. Looking to finish off another one tonight. He'll start from second. Row 2 would be Travis Everett in the 13, looking to jumpstart his season after being in the Final Four a season ago. And Christian Strader in the 29, that dark gray Reese's Mustang. Dark horse, he'll start from 4th. Row 3, Hunter Carlson in the 32, Rusty Modesty in the 6. Row 4, it's JT Irizarry, another driver looking to jumpstart his season after being in the Final Four a season ago. And it's James Catrone in the 38. He'll start from outside of row number 4 in 8th. Row 5, Andrew Little in the 68 machine. He'll start alongside Cody Eldred in the 34. Back on row 6, Brandon Beauchamp and Austin Johnson. Back on row number 7, it'll be Harold Rothery in the 7 and Nick Seipel in the 57, last week's winner from Sonoma. Row 8, it's the Atlanta winner, Stephen Luttrell in the 36, and Greg Bourbonier in the 00, looking to continue his rocket hot start to the season. And rounding out the field tonight, 17th, and finally on the grid, Taylor Seneft in the 42. 17 cars make up 8.5 rows on tonight's grid. They'll go to battle for 160 laps. A stage break at the conclusion of lap 40 will bring us to our total race distance. 160 laps, 160 miles at the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware. So excited again to have you all on board with me tonight. Throughout the course of the night, be sure to like this stream, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we are a week and a half away from the PGR SummerSlam 499. You're going to hear me plug it a lot tonight throughout the broadcast while talking also about our Challenger Cup Series drivers and the schedule ahead for them. But you'll hear me plug that SummerSlam 499 a lot. We are 9 days away from the biggest sim racing event of the summer. And by the way, you can still get in on it at PGResports.com. And if you want to be a part of the biggest super speedway event of the summer at Talladega next weekend, I'll tell you more about those details when we get to the stage break. There's business to be attended to in Dover tonight, though. And now with 3 different winners in 3 different races, we look to see if we can not lock in another driver to the Challenger Cup Series playoffs. Stephen Luttrell, a win at Atlanta. Christian Strader, a win in Chicago, and Nick Seipel, a win last week in Sonoma, the first 3 winners of this new campaign. We look to see if we add a 4th tonight in Dover, or will it be a repeat? Caswell, Hayden, Everett, would all 3 like to claim their first victories of the season? Multiple drivers behind them as well, still looking for win number 1 in the calendar year of 2025 as we continue on towards the ultimate grand championship in Challenger Cup Series at the end of the year. The second season's champion will be racing in that along with several other drivers throughout the course of the year. Business to be attended to in Dover. Green flag is in the air. We're racing from Dover, Delaware. One lap up and down at Dover Motor Speedway, and it's Garrett Caswell who gets the monster start. Off to the front of the field goes the 77. He'll inherit the lead. Matt Hayden settles nicely into second. Schrader comes through to third. You saw Christian Schrader get the wall. You're going to see a lot of that tonight as guys experiment. They are all over the racetrack in practice. Who won on the wall back there? It was James Coitrone. He gets in the wall again off of turn number 4. A couple bounces off of it there for Coitrone. You see Matt Hayden. Guys experimented in practice quite a bit with the lines that they could run in this car at this racetrack, much as we saw guys do on Sunday at Dover Motor Speedway in the real NASCAR Cup Series race. They're going to do so again tonight. They experimented all practice long on where they could run and burn the least tire. And, oh man, big hit to the wall for Brandon Beauchamp, but no harm, no foul back there. But guys experimented all practice long on whether or not they could make that line work up there against the wall or in the middle or on the bottom. So we'll eventually see guys everywhere. You see Matt Hayden was one of the first to go up there. He's going to continue being up there, but he's also running very conservatively back in the third position. Schrader through to second on Hayden. Now Hayden faces the challenge potentially from Travis Everett and Rusty Modesty. The men on the move right now, though, Austin Johnson and Nick Seipel, a pair of rookies, as well as Cody Eldred. All +3 or better so far. All three working into the top 10 for the first time in this race. Quickly 5 up and down. They'll run 25-second laps tonight. This will not be a long race if these guys manage to get into a bit of a run. We'll go back here to this Hornet's Nest from 4th on back. That's where you'll find Everett, Modesty, Carlson. Then it's Eldred. Then it's Coitrone. Then Johnson and Seipel. Keep an eye on the battle for the lead as well. Christian Schrader looking to put pressure on the back bumper of Garrett Caswell, who looks for his first win in Challenger Cup Series competition. He looks to kind of jumpstart his season. He's had some good runs. Last week he finally finished one of them, but he's run well in all 3 of the races so far this season, but has yet to capture a win. Out back battle is on. That's for 9th position. Seipel on by his teammate Austin Johnson. And boy, the 75 is on the move early. If you caught last night's PGR recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499, the Gen 6 at Talladega, it was Nick Seipel capturing a big victory just 10 days away from that SummerSlam event. You may not think that wins on non-super speedways can garner you any momentum, but for Nick Seipel, I guarantee you he'll take what he can get. If you can get on some kind of heater, no matter if it's Dover or if it's Talladega, if you can get on some kind of heater going into an event like that, it raises the confidence. It raises potentially your chances of hoisting a championship belt after that event next week. Seipel will be in the field for that next weekend and won the recruitment race last night at Talladega. Up ahead, Hornet's Nest continues as Travis Everett's got a bit of a train of cars behind him now, beating the back bumper off of the 13, the Black Rifle Mustang. It starts with Rusty Modesty, then it's Carlson, then it's Eldred, then it's Coitrone. As 5 cars under a blanket, and Seipel is starting to close in on these guys as well. Christian Schrader trying to close in on Caswell. He's gained a little bit of ground up front line. 10 laps on the board now, quarter of the way through stage number 1, our only stage of the night. Going to be interesting to see. Caswell, Schrader have been going really hard. Hayden, not so much. Travis Everett looks to be dialing back just a tad. But going to be really interesting to me to see how guys conserve tires tonight throughout the course of this event. How many guys decide to put on the full go, how many guys decide to hold back just a little bit, and how much, the guys at full go, Schrader, Caswell, a couple others, how much it affects their tire wear and how much they can go. You're already seeing Matt Hayden just conserving by about 10 laps, has already reeled in Schrader and is working on gaining time on the leader as well for second. This will be the battle here in just a moment. See, Hayden's changed his line. He was up by the fence. He's kind of migrated down just a little bit by a half a lane. He kind of runs it out of the corner on the bottom and drives it straight off the banking, and it's really working for him. He moves back up now here in turn 1, but it's kind of been working to come off the banking and gain some time and save some tire in the process as well. So experimentation working for Matt Hayden. Back to the battle for 4th. Travis Everett has it. Rusty Modesty continues to want it, but is not really abandoning that bottom lane. You see Eldred out back is from about 2 car lengths back of Hunter Carlson, and it's starting to pay some dividends for the 34 machine as you see Seipel starts to reel in Catrone. That is for 8th. He's got Andrew Little and GT Irizarry on his back bumper now, putting some pressure on. Into turn 3 here finally is a move for Rusty Modesty. He's been waiting on this one for several laps. He'll get 4th. Carlson tries to follow him through for 5th, unable, as the field works off turn number 3. Turn number 3 and 4, and brings lap 14 on the board. Andrew Little on the wall out back of these guys in the 10th position. Just worked his way into the top 10 for the first time, but it's Modesty into the top 4 for the first time tonight. As the battle for the lead starts to heat up just a little bit, Christian Strader has Garrett Caswell in his crosshairs off turn number 4, but that gap steadies out just a little, 15 up and down in Dover. And Strader pulls to within 3/10. We'll keep it here for a moment on the race's Peanut Butter Cups Mustang Dark Horse. A brand new look for him, kind of that slate gray, almost a charcoal color on that 29 machine to go along with the usual brown, yellow, and orange accents. Bright yellow wheels as well. Or Christian Strader, our Chicago Street Course winner from 2 weeks ago. Keep it here for a moment. We will acknowledge the chat. Please feel free to use the chat tonight if you're rooting for a driver or just want to say hello or want to say anything in general. Use that chat feature at the bottom. Always love when the chat is active. It was really active last night, and it was really cool to see. But continue to use it. Tanya Cook rooting for Garrett Caswell. Holding on to the lead right now is the 77. And William Luttrell rooting for Stephen Luttrell, our Atlanta winner, currently 14th on the Speedway, is the 36. Strader into the wake here of Garrett Caswell. Now, you won't see the dirty air effect in this version of this car track combo that we saw on Sunday in the Cup race, but you will see a little bit of an effect. You see right here, Strader running right in Caswell's wake. It does have an effect. It's just not as noticeable as it was back on Sunday for, for example, with Bell and Hamlin, or later on with Briscoe and Hamlin. It just isn't quite as noticeable, but you will see it throughout the course of the night. Strader ventures up the racetrack now. It's the first time we've seen him go up there. And he gets the fence a little bit off of turn 4, but doesn't really affect him too much. Rusty Modesty, by the way, has cut half a second off Garrett Caswell's lead. And Modesty's got some pep in his step here. Strader to the back bumper of Caswell, going to potentially try to force the issue. We'll see where Strader goes here in 3. He's going to go up the hill again, much like Christopher Bell did against Denny Hamlin. And he'll try to drive it down off the banking, get some speed. He gets a little bit here, a bit of a bobble from Caswell, and here comes Christian Strader. To the outside of Caswell, takes a look for the lead. Will not get there. He'll try to roll off turn 2 the same way he did 4. And get right up to Caswell, but no dice. Caswell doing a good job holding off Strader right now, taking away the line that Strader wants to run, making him go somewhere else to make the pass. Now, in a move straight out of Denny Hamlin's, but moves up just a little bit, potentially trying to make Strader have to go even higher. And it worked a little bit. He kept about a car length advantage there off of turn number 4. These two continue to duel. This is for the race lead as the field works down into turn number 2 and off onto the back straightaway. Lap 21 already on the board, halfway through stage 1. Caswell continuing to lead the way. If you want an idea of lap time fall off, oh, I did not mean to click that. Ooh, Hayden, big in the wall for Matt Hayden. As the Fanatec Chevy, he got it big time. We'll see if there's any wheel damage aboard that Oakley Fanatec Chevrolet. As Rusty Modesty will try to run him down for lap time reference. Best lap of the race for Garrett Caswell was a 24:03 early. His last lap around this racetrack was a 24.83. In 22 laps, 0.8 of tire fall off. Battle settles down for a moment for the lead. Let's see who's on the move further back from these guys. Travis Everett's one of them, as he's caught Rusty Modesty for 4th. Hunter Carlson is 6th. Cody Eldred's up to 7th. Nick Seipel's plus 6 to 8th. He's the biggest mover on the racetrack and was the fastest car in practice by a 1/10.5. So Seipel, the man to watch surely here in the middle stages of this race, but it's Christian Strader that continues to beat the back bumper off of the number 77 Premier Racing setup Chevrolet of Garrett Caswell. Back down into turn number 3. Next time by, lap 25 already on the board. Oh, Christian Strader, that was a big blink. Not sure what happened there. He had some internet issues earlier in the session. He's going to look to the inside. This is for the race lead. Finally got a good enough run on Caswell. Caswell gives him the bottom. Caswell blinks out, and just like we saw on Sunday, Caswell tries to run him down, but has to lift just a little bit. Get out of the gas. 2 wide for the lead in 3. Caswell outside, Strader inside. See Caswell giving him plenty of room because he knows he's going to be able to drive it harder off the corner. But Caswell hadn't been up there, and he's going to get the fence. Caswell had not yet experimented with that top lane and race trim. Strader had, and it pays dividends. Strader to the race lead ahead of Garrett Caswell. Out back, Travis Everett makes a move. That's on Modesty for 4th. Carlson closes in on this battle from P6. As Seipel got P7 from Eldred, he's on the move as well. Good racing so far in Dover. A little bit of everything here in terms of racing grooves. You see Matt Hayden. He's closing into this battle with Caswell now. How about Matt Hayden to the inside of the 77? He wants 2nd position. He'll get it. He'll throw a slider as well there in 1. And now set his sights on Christian Strader, perhaps right in front of him for the race lead. As Everett closes on Caswell, Modesty, Carlson in his tire tracks, and Nick Seipel tries to join the fight also. Austin Johnson on pit road. He's had a bit of a struggle for his day so far. He's already 4 laps down in the 17th position. Caswell's really struggling on old tires now. He's falling right through the top 2 now. Is under fire from Everett. He's got a few cars now chasing him. And he's trying to just hang on for dear life until the stage break and not wreck that race car. As Hayden picks up a little bit of time on Strader, and all of a sudden the Oakley Chevrolet's got some sportiness to it here in the middle stages. Battle behind them. That was for 3rd for a moment, as Travis Everett tries to get that spot from the rookie Garrett Caswell. As lap 29 already on the board, 12 to go. Next time by 11 to go in stage 1, the only stage break of the race at the conclusion of lap 40. Caswell underneath Everett. Everett got to the outside, and he'll get the spot. He'll have the nose at the line. Let's see if he can get it here in 1 and 2. Got to make quick work if he wants to get to the leaders. Off of turn number 2, gives Caswell plenty of room. Caswell drives it hard on the bottom, starts to wash up just a little, uses all the racetrack provided to him. Everett inches away from being clear, and Caswell backs out of the throttle and lets him have it. Everett on to 3rd. Modesty going to try to come forward for 4th now as Everett chases Matt Hayden for 2nd. And the battling continues, but not for long. Yellow flag for the first time tonight is, for a multiple car crash on the back straightaway as Taylor Senift and Austin Johnson have gone for a spin on the backstretch on lap 31. Go back and take a look at what happened. Taylor Senift was out behind the field. Does it start in front of him? It does with Austin Johnson. So let's go up a little bit and investigate. Austin Johnson was 4 laps down. Had just come off pit road. Running in the back of the field in 17th. And the car snaps out from underneath him as they worked off turn number 2. And, oh, man, it snaps big time there back to the right. He gets the wall now. How does Taylor Senift get involved in this? Does he commit to the bottom? Age-old tale at Dover. When you commit to the bottom, what goes up must come down, especially at a high-banked oval like Dover, and that's exactly what happens. Johnson comes down. The racetrack is Dover, a self-cleaning track. The car comes down, comes right across Taylor Senift. He committed to the wrong line and just barrels right into Austin Johnson now. Lucky for both cars. Fast repairs available in the pits for both. So nothing major in terms of damage here, but certainly not going to be ideal for these drivers. Take a couple more looks, and then we'll head back up live. See Johnson, he's out of shape. He tries to cut it back to the right. Cuts a little bit too much right across the center. And spins out, and as he comes down, Senift's going to commit to one lane and just doesn't quite work. And you see here comes Senift. Oh, man, it's a tough break for the 42. Who had some struggles towards the tail end of the field as well. Now a bad start gone worse as he gets involved in this one on lap 31. One more look. We'll go from the onboard of Taylor Senift here, and I'll show you kind of what I mean by where he committed on this one. At any track except Dover, honestly, what he chose is not a horrible decision. He's going to choose bottom, but the problem is at Dover, everything kind of rolls down the racetrack, and Senift just gets right in the back of the 10 right there and comes to a stop. Again, lucky for he and Austin Johnson. Fast repairs in the pits. You see a fresh car. aboard that 42, and he will continue on in this race. Lap 34 going to go on the board. We'll go green with 6 to go in stage 1 and 126 to go in the race. Almost a quarter of the way through this one already. And stage caution coming up in 6 laps. At which point, we'll tell you about the upcoming SummerSlam 499, how you can get involved, what that schedule is going to look like. Kind of what to expect from the upcoming days for PGR eSports. It's a big weekend next weekend, and excited to get to be a big part of it again for that race. Interestingly enough, several cars came down pit road. Matt Hayden had to repair some damage after that hit to the wall. You would think he's all the way back in 15th. Garrett Caswell, I think, was the first off pit road. Several cars came to pit road here. A lot of different strategies. Because there are only 3 extra sets of tires in the race. So about the top 7 or 8 stayed on the racetrack on old tires and are going to take them at the stage, trying to get stage points. As such, it's Everett and Eldred on the front row. And here we go. Green flag back in the air, and Everett's off and running. Trouble, around they go. This was what I was worried about. Spinning tires on the race start, and a big crash here at Dover right as we went back green. Several cars on old hot tires got out of shape and got sideways. Greg Bourbonier gets a piece. It was actually 2 cars. Andrew Little, you see him already around as well. So it was really about 2. It was 2 cars here that get sideways. As Everett gets into the restart box and they start to go on old rear tires. I worried about this. The heavy banking doesn't really help as you try to go. Those tires slide out from underneath you and you get sideways. And this was all she wrote for Andrew Little. He's in the wall. Stephen Luttrell's going to get a piece of this. Oh, out back, Greg Bourbonier got turned out sideways, either hitting the brakes or also spinning his tires. Nick Seipel and Garrett Caswell get a piece out back. Looks like Rusty Modesty's able to miss it maybe for the most part. Catrone's involved. That's the 38 slapping the inside wall. And this was a lot of cars that are involved in this one. And again, you see the tire spin. Oh, it's Bourbonier. He actually spun his tires. You see him out back. Seipel's on the brakes, trying to get away from him. He gets a piece. See, Caswell gets a piece. There's Luttrell. Modesty skates on by. We'll go back and check out James Catrone as well. Oh! Strader on the brakes. Catrone got hit from behind. That was by the 10 of Austin Johnson. And boy, oh boy. And I wondered about this, and I was talking to guys before the race, and I really did worry about it. I said, look, I know this is going to happen. We're going to have a crash where guys spin their tires. The field tries to come to a stop. Oh, man, Brandon Beauchamp, Taylor Seneft also involved in this one as well. Out in the back of the field. Everybody's on pit road this time as Christian Strader leads the race off of pit road as we head back to live action. So a big crash there brings out a quick second caution. And we'll get ready to go back green at Dover next time by. This will be with 2 laps to go in the stage. So we'll still have another caution coming up here in a pair of laps. So let's see if guys now are able to restart on what I would imagine are mostly new tires now at this point. So guys have changed tires likely at this point, and we will get back to it on lap 39. Now the stage will end at the conclusion of lap 40, and then from there we'll go green the rest of the way. No more stage breaks after that. Austin Johnson sits on pit road. He is now down to about 6 laps down on the rest of the field. Taylor Seneft is 1 lap down. Everybody else still on the lead lap and working their way back around to the back of the field to catch up to the tail end after repairing damage. That includes James Catrone, Brandon Beauchamp, Stephen Luttrell, Greg Bourbonier, Harold Rothery, and Andrew Little. All still on the lead lap, but all repairing damage on pit road due to that last incident that started up towards the front of the field. Let's try this again. 2 laps to go, stage number 1, 122 to go in the race. Christian Strader is back out front in the race's dark horse and looks to get a stage win. Green flag back in the air. He spins his tires just a little bit on that restart, but is able to get way out ahead of Travis Everett. GT Irizarry third. Nick Seipel is fourth, looking to pounce, trying to get to the front. The fastest car in the practice session, looking to get all the way to the lead, but not before Cody Eldred gets around Seipel into the door number of Irizarry here off turn 2. 3 wide with Seipel. He looked to the inside, but he thought better of it there on the inside of turn number 3. He's stuck behind Irizarry, not going as hard as Seipel would like him to. Ooh, Modesty bounces off the outside wall. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. They are all chasing Christian Strader, who looks to get 5 points. The battle for those points going to be really good. Almost 3 wide back here around Rusty Modesty. They thought about it back here around that 7th position. But no dice for anybody trying to go 3 wide, and it will be all Christian Strader off turn 4. He'll win the opening stage. Battle is for 3rd as Seipel will nip Cody Eldred at the line. And Irizarry goes 5th. We stay green for a moment. Let's act as if we're going to, but the stage caution should be coming out. It does not. That may have counted as the stage earlier. Screw it. Let's continue on. Christian Strader continues to lead. Let's go back to the Hornets' nest back here in 2nd. Seipel's gotten around Everett and Eldred. He's through to P2 now. Eldred battles Everett. That's for 3rd. Modesty wants the spot as well. He's here, and so is Hunter Carlson. Matt Hayden comes back through the field. He's up to 8th. Carlson up by the fence. Irizarry falling like a rock, and Caswell can't get out from around him. And this is a hornet's nest back here around these cars as they try to get strung back out. Carlson up by the wall, the only one to run that high this early in the run, but it's paying dividends for him right now as he gets around Travis Everett. That is for the 4th position. Matt Hayden looks for the 5th position. Carlson dives out of line again, up by the fence, goes to 72. The T2 on the side of the car, the 32 on the timing and scoring. He'll get that position from Everett. He'll get clear of all of them, and now looks for Cody Eldred and Nick Seipel. How about the speed for Eldred? He's on the back bumper of Seipel. That's for 2nd as Carlson chases both of these cars. Hayden through to 5th on Travis Everett as Modesty looks for 6th on Everett. Everett is going backwards in a hurry. He's all the way back to 7th after restarting up on the front row. Caswell runs outside of Everett. He wants 7th, and he'll get it. And Irizarry tries to follow through now. Carlson way up to the fence again here in turns 3 and 4, and he'll have a big run on Cody Eldred when they come down the front straightaway. Will he dive to the bottom? Will he continue to try to run the top? It's the latter. He goes out to the outside wall and tries to get to the right rear of Cody Eldred, and he will. How about that from Hunter Carlson? He's going to grab the right rear of Eldred, try to keep it out of the fence here off of 2, and it's Carlson that wants 3rd. The Kansas winner from a season ago on Fuel Strategy wants to put his name in the Challenger Cup Series winner circle again, and he'll get 3rd. He's got some short run speed. Seipel fastest in practice, but Strader runs away from the field just a bit here, and the battle will be on for 2nd. Carlson's the car I'm really interested in. He's been the best on this top lane so far in this race. He's really making it work, and now looks for 2nd on Nick Seipel as out back Eldred under fire for 4th from Matt Hayden, and now Rusty Modesty, and welcome back to the party, Garrett Caswell. 6 cars under a blanket from 2nd on to 7th. And then from there, and more cars under a blanket from 8th on back, all the way back to Stephen Luttrell in 12th. They're all chasing, though, Christian Strader. Carlson going to continue to work on Nick Seipel. But boy, that top line is paying some kind of dividend for him here. As he again goes up there, he's kind of forcing Seipel, I think, to run a little harder than he wants to by going up there and putting pressure on his back bumper. Here he comes again, another run of the back bumper, the 75. He will not change his approach. He'll go up to the outside, and he'll try to get past him the hard way on the top. But again, Nick Seipel's been really good down here in 3 and 4. Hayden looks for 4th on the 10 of Eldred and cannot get it, or the 34 of Eldred, I should say. But no dice. Hayden will go back up to the top. Modesty and Caswell chase along there. as Seipel starts to pick into the lead of Christian Strader just a little. 49 up and down, coming back 111 laps to go at the line. And Carlson continuing to beat the brakes off of Nick Seipel here, putting pressure all over the back bumper of the Sonoma winner as he wants position number 2. Now, he won't force the issue, but he will continue to put a ton of pressure on the back bumper of Seipel. But man, Seipel has been notably good down there in 3 and 4. In 1 and 2, it's been a bit of a different story, but a slip right there for the 75. And Carlson's able to drive right up to his back bumper on the bottom as Carlson changed his approach. And will do so again here in 3 and 4. All of a sudden, Carlson goes to the bottom, and now he's got a little bit of speed down there, too. Ooh, but he noses into the outside wall and loses that time. And tough break there for Carlson. So he'll go backwards just a little bit, be under fire now from Matt Hayden. That'll be for third when Hayden gets back up to this T2. Seipel runs away just a little, but it's all Christian Strader. I've kept him off frame because he's been so far ahead. But he's just driving away from the pack up front right now. Garrett Caswell's driven his way back up to the 6th position with just over 100 to go. But Carlson now goes back to the top and again puts pressure on Seipel, and this time he beats him in 3 and 4 and gets right to his back bumper, and this is going to be one of the best looks he's had. Seipel turns down, Carlson goes up. This has been his better end of the racetrack, but that time Seipel goes better in 1 and 2 and regains all that time. Chess match here between these two drivers. Carlson's been so good on the bottom, but man, Seipel is just so good in 3 and 4 on this end of the speedway. Hayden under fire now from Modesty. That's for 4th. As Carlson goes back up the racetrack and really not working the longer he tries it, kind of the less it works. And now Hayden will come into his tire tracks. GT Urzuri out back in 8th is starting to pick up some time and get close to some of these guys as well. But here comes Carlson, another run at the back of Seipel, and another opportunity to try to get past him. He'll go to the middle this time. Bit of a different approach than we've seen from him. We've seen him go right in the tire tracks. We've seen him go to the bottom, or we've seen him go to the wall, and now we see him go to the middle, and it worked just a little. He's going to try it again on this end of the speedway. But again, Seipel, notably better in 3 and 4, is able to pull a little bit of time on the T2 and continue to stay in front of him. Matt Hayden's worked his way into this battle. He's caught both of these cars as Seipel starts to again chip away at the lead of Christian Strader on lap 57. 104 coming back to 103 laps to go. A 40-lap fuel run means we are going to be dangerously close to being able to make it on a 2-stop strategy. Should this race continue green, battle for third. Matt Hayden turns underneath Hunter Carlson. Carlson way up by the wall, going to let him have it. Hayden on through to third. Carlson, does he try to cross him over? He will down the back. Here comes Carlson back for third. And on the inside, it's the T2 now. Hayden goes to the middle and tries to get back past him and then put his sights on second place Nick Seipel. So it's Matt Hayden now in a podium position and chasing Nick Seipel as Seipel chases Christian Strader. Hayden's got some speed underneath that car. I don't know about winning speed, but he's run some of the best lap times in the field in tonight's race and now chases the 75, the winner from a week ago. All while Seipel continues to make up ground on Christian Strader, but boy, that was a good lap there from Hayden as he gains a ton of time on the cars around him. Last time by, fastest car on track was the third place car, the Oakley Fanatec Chevrolet of Matt Hayden. And he's done it just by running this line right here, second, third lane on the racetrack. He's able to carry so much speed off turn 4 running that line. Oh, gets in the wall just a little bit there, but continues to gain time on Seipel, and he puts the pressure on. The heat is turning up for the second place driver as he turns the heat up just a little bit on Christian Strader. Modesty settles into 5th, Caswell into 6th, and Irizarry into 7th. Irizarry looking for that spot on Caswell. Let's go back there for a moment. As GT has caught these cars, and behind them, Eldred trying to hold off Catrone and Everett. That is for 9th and 10th. Or for 8th and 9th, excuse me. Irizarry and Caswell, these two have a little bit of history back at Atlanta. Coming to the stage break, Garrett Caswell, GT Irizarry come together, so there's no love lost between these two cars. Certainly Irizarry knows that. And what better place to give a little bit of payback than Dover, and oh boy, Irizarry may have cut him a break right there. They'll go side by side. This is for 6th. Irizarry inside, Caswell outside, and Caswell maintains the spot. Behind them, Catrone under fire from Travis Everett. That is for 9th. Everett gains the spot, but Catrone drives back around him. And it will be no dice, though. The 13 gets all the way up to 9th. This battle has cooled off just a little bit. Let's go up front because Nick Seipel has started to run down the leader, but before that, maybe a battle for 3rd as Matt Hayden has been caught from behind by Hunter Carlson. Battling all over the racetrack inside of 100 laps to go. In fact, make it 96 to go at the line. Matt Hayden and Hunter Carlson continue to battle here for 3rd, but that cools off just a little bit as Seipel continues to try to run down straighter for the lead. Caswell, Irizarry's heated back up again back here for 6th. Let's head back there. Irizarry going to try to get to the outside of Caswell. Garrett says no, sir. He tries it again here in 3 and 4, driving it in deep. Can he grab his right rear off of 4? No. Can he cross him over? Also no. And down the front straightaway, looking for a strategy. Peeks the nose out. Can't get to the bottom either. And continuing to struggle. Almost contact there. That was close between those two cars. They may turn underneath him here into 3. He'll lean. He'll look. Again, no. Almost some contact again there in 3 and 4. As these two continue to duel, it has brought Travis Everett back to them. Irizarry is perhaps going to start to get a little bit impatient with Garrett Caswell. It's a really nice drive off of 2. He wants to go to the outside. I just don't think he's going to be able to. Now drives to the inside, but cannot make it happen. Again, almost gets in the back bumper of Garrett Caswell. Goodness. 93 laps to go in Dover. Irizarry now will be picked off. That is for 7th by Everett, who gets in front of him. Crossover from Irizarry is unsuccessful. And Everett now is forward to the 7th position, and now he'll take a shot on Garrett Caswell. That battle continuing to cool off just a tad as well. 92 laps to go in Dover. It's Christian Strader over Nick Seipel, Matt Hayden, Hunter Carlson, and Rusty Modesty. As we are already approaching halfway. Here's Everett underneath Caswell. That's for 6th. Everett drives it deep into 3. Caswell running that top lane to try to play defense. Everett, can he stay alongside him here off of 4? He can, but not for long. Caswell holds him off, drives right back to the bottom of the racetrack. Everett going to go the opposite way and may find some success and will find some success. How about Travis Everett up around the outside of Garrett Caswell? Caswell runs him tight into 3. But can he maintain the spot? No. Irizarry going to try to make it 2 for 1, but has to back out of it. Caswell stays alongside, but not for long. Irizarry going to try to make it 2 for 1 again in 1. Ooh, boy. That looked like tailor-made contact getting ready to happen there between Irizarry and Caswell. Irizarry runs up a lane, is able to dive in the corner, and gets alongside the Premier Racing setup Chevy. Now there's contact between them. I knew that was coming. GT Irizarry not going to be as patient, I think, as he would be with other drivers, with Garrett Caswell, who, again, they had the contact back at Atlanta. And Irizarry is on through for the 7th position. Let's see if Caswell repays him here off of 2. Gives him a little bit of contact back. Looks like he will not have the opportunity as Cody Eldred now approaches him for 8th. As in front of them, it's a battle for 5th. Travis Everett goes by Rusty Modesty. That's for P5. GT Irizarry behind them in P7. Looking on to this battle as Eldred catches Caswell for 8th. Still no battle for the lead. Seipel's gotten to within about 6/10, but that is as close as he has gotten on this run. They got to make it to lap 80, and then from there you can pit any time and be good to make it on one more stop, but you have to make it to the lap 80 threshold. I know it says Christian Strader is pitting. It's an issue with the overlays, so disregard that. It's not accurate. Christian Strader is obviously not on pit road. He's leading the way. One car is on pit road, though, and it's Garrett Caswell that's made the first pit stop here on lap 74. Now, the problem is I think he's outside the fuel window, so we'll see if that is the case. He will go one lap down, a very slow pit road here at Dover. Another car, I think, going to dive off the racetrack. I'm pretty sure is Rusty Modesty. His time going down quite a bit. No, he just got the wall or may have wanted to pit, perhaps missed pit road. Back up front, we'll take our first look in a while at the leader, Christian Strader, and no sign of pitting for him yet. But a couple cars will. Nick Seipel's on pit road, almost spun it. Matt Hayden's going to spin it and get the wall in the entrance of pit road as Bolt tried to get down to speed. Going to be interesting to see if either got a penalty. Taylor Seneft is on pit road. Rusty Modesty's on pit road. So is Brandon Beauchamp. So is Greg Bourbonier. Green flag pit stops underway for the first time here at Dover. Strader goes another one. Carlson, does he dive off the racetrack to pit road? He will. He'll seed second. Now it's Everett and Irizarry and Eldred that stay out another. So does Cotrone. So 5 cars going to stay out. Andrew Little going to stay out, make it 6, make it 7 with Luttrell. And Rothery will cede that spot to pit road. So 7 cars have yet to make their pit stop under green. Strader goes by yet another time. And on old tires, man, with the fall off, this is interesting, but he may be trying to stretch this and make it to lap 80 and potentially make this a one-stop race. And if he can do so, it's going to completely change the tone of this second run. He's got to make it, I think, another 2, but he will cede the lead here on lap 78 as those guys come off pit road and will make his pit stop, as will Everett, as will Eldred, and Andrew Little, the lone man who has not yet pit. And he will continue to not pit. So Andrew Little going to get a bonus point here for leading a lap. Winner from Martinsville a season ago. Made a deep playoff run and looking to continue that here in this one. And if he can get to lap 80, then we're going to be looking at him maybe as a driver that could make it to the end. But he will cede the lead here on this lap and hand the lead, we presume, over to Nick Seipel. Once the field cycles off of pit road, it will be the 75, the Premier Racing Setups Ford Mustang, that inherits the lead on our first cycle of green flag pit stops. But Matt Hayden is not far off his bumper, half a second. Separate the 2 leaders. Seipel on by everyone except Christian Strader, but he will cycle out right in front of the 29. Oh, trouble! 1 car around backwards. It's Luttrell right in front of the leaders. Carlson's going to scramble. Luttrell bails off the racetrack. 1 more around. I think it was Taylor Seneft. And more cars crashing now, as Harold Rothery's gone for a spin on the entrance of turn 3 up on the banking. He must have got caught by Taylor Seneft there as he got sideways. 3rd caution of the night as Luttrell was coming off pit road. And oh boy. Tries to get up to speed, bounces off the outside wall. Now Taylor Seneft's going to come along and oh man, he tried to miss it. He actually committed to the bottom that time, but he spins. And as he comes back down, just going to barely... Oh, actually, Rothery was trying to miss him, and he spun out. So 2 separate incidents of guys trying to miss the wreck and overcorrecting their cars and coming to a stop. We'll take one more quick look at it. We're going to come back and go to a quick commercial break on lap number 80, the halfway point of tonight's race. See Luttrell go sideways. There goes Seneft. He's going to get sideways, and then as he comes back down, you'll see Rothery come on to your screen, and he just tries to miss him, and he slides up the banking. So all things considered, minimal damage for all 3 of those cars. Luttrell's got the worst of it, and he went immediately to pit road and awaits the service of his crew. A tough break for all cars involved. Under caution for the 3rd time on lap 81 of 160. There are 80 laps to go at Dover. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing here at Dover Motor Speedway. The conclusion of tonight's Dover race for the Challenger Cup Series coming up right after this. You're watching PGR eSports coverage of the Challenger Cup Series live on a Tuesday night. We'll be right back.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing. 3x3. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. Finish. Who gets it in the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We won't run! We won't run! Ladies and gentlemen, we got paddles.
The monkey has pride!
This season, we are hydrated.
Back live at Dover Motor Speedway. Green flag going to go back in the air. It is 78 laps to go. And again on old tires, guys sliding sideways. Matt Hayden's going to lose 5 spots on the restart as he got sideways on old hot tires. And unfortunately there, boy, oh boy, we almost had another incident, but lucky to get away pretty well unscathed. Seipel knifes his way underneath Hunter Carlson as he looks to come back forward. That is for the 7th position. But now have to fight his way through some traffic for one of the first times in this race. Schrader up front, going to try to hold off Andrew Little, who at the time of caution was in the 2nd position. Actually, we had some guys, I believe, come down and pit under that caution. And perhaps now can all make it to the end. Schrader, I don't know if he's one of those cars that can make it. It'll be very close with the driver of the 29 as he starts to drive away a little bit, but not much. Andrew Little keeping him in range here of the windshield. Big hit to the wall out back. That was Hunter Carlson in the T2. But boy, Andrew Little is keeping Schrader within arm's length, but now Schrader starts to open up a bit of a gap. As behind them, it is a hornet's nest again back here from 3rd on back. Everett, Eldred, here comes Hayden to the bottom of Eldred. That is for 4th. He'll look for that spot. Not going to be able to get it off of 4. And now Carlson will actually get around him as well. 2 for 1 try for Carlson, not successful. As he now is behind Eldred and Everett. Carlson, Hayden have had some really good speed all night. Looking to get through traffic. So too, though, has Nick Seipel, who was going to cycle to the lead right there. Under that green flag cycle. But the caution did come out. He came back to pit road and now tries to knife his way through traffic. Carlson up to the fence. That's as high as we've seen anybody run tonight. Does it work for him? Oh, man, he flies off turn 2. Gets a ton of exit speed. He'll try it again now on the other end of the racetrack as he tries to get around Everett and Eldred for 4th and 3rd, respectively. He'll turn underneath Eldred. That's for 3rd. And Hunter Carlson, or for 4th, excuse me. Now Carlson, the man on the move. Just a little bit here at Dover. Eldred trying to hold the spot. Not going to be able to. Hayden going to try to get P5 from Eldred as Carlson sets his sights now on Travis Everett. And Andrew Little and Christian Schrader have driven away just a little bit from this mess going on back here from 4th on back. Hayden under fire now from Seipel. That's for 6th. As Carlson gets up to the back bumper of Travis Everett. Here comes the T2. Off into turn 3. Here comes Carlson into the middle again. Looking for the right line. Going to drive it off turn 4. Does he try to cross over on Everett? He's going to turn it down the hill. Going to try to get that spot. Oh, one car out of shape. It was Matt Hayden. He made the save, but he loses several spots. He's back to 10th now. Back up to this battle between Everett and Carlson. Carlson wants that spot from Everett. Seipel chases Eldred now for 5th as he looks to get back to the field. Back up to the high side goes Carlson. He'll drive it off the corner hard and try again to turn underneath the 13 of Everett. No dice that time. He'll go back up to that middle lane in 1, and he continues to try to attack the Black Rifle Mustang for that podium position. Eldred holds off a Hornet's Nest behind him. Caswell gets back around Irizarry. That's for 7th now. He chases his teammate Nick Seipel as they both chase Cody Eldred. Seipel to the bottom of the racetrack. That is for 5th on Cody Eldred. Seipel, one of the fastest cars on track. Contact off turn 4. Both cars keep it going. Seipel able to keep it on the bottom of Eldred. Drive it hard into turns 1 and 2. Eldred going to try to defend the position. Seipel going to try to get clear off of turn number 2. Can't quite do it. Trying to spook the 34 into lifting. He won't. Seipel continues to hold that left side door. Drives it into 3 and will get the spot and drive on along. Caswell trying to make it 2 for 1. Seipel slides up. That's for 5th. Caswell will make it 2 for 1. He'll get 6th. And both cars now roll forward past the 34. Carlson now trying again to attack Travis Everett. That is for 3rd as Andrew Little continues to keep Christian Strader in his windshield here and at arm's length. Carlson going to have a really nice drive potentially here off turn number 4. He'll get right to the back bumper of Everett again, but just not close enough to make anything happen as we are now down to 67 laps to go. Off turn number 4 again. We continue to watch the battle for 3rd between Travis Everett and Hunter Carlson, but it has cooled off. Another slide for Matt Hayden back around GT Irizarry, and he loses more spots again back to 9th, back to 10. And actually, he'll go to 11th this time. These two back here not gaining anything on the leaders. Little is the only one who's been able to stay with Strader. Carlson going to go back to the bottom, actually peaks a headlight lower than Travis Everett here in 3 and 4. Carlson's been good really anywhere he tries to run. He can run the bottom, he can run the middle, he can run the top when needed. And he's been really good in all of those grooves. But now Everett's moved up just a little bit, and it's paying off for the 13, so he'll drive away just a bit. But Nick Seipel is lurking back behind these guys as he tries to get his way at least back into the top 3. You could argue he was going to have the lead and potentially run away with this race if that race had stayed green, but as of right now, he's relegated to 5th, trying to get up to this battle for the 3rd position. Behind them for 7th, Irizarry underneath Eldred. He'll get the spot pretty easily there in turn 3. And on by goes the 14, but here comes Eldred. Does he try to cross him over? No. And he'll drop in behind. Cars kind of fanning out just a little bit. It's the furthest apart really anybody has been in this race. Update on cars that are not on the lead lap. Harold Rothery has gone 1 lap down. Greg Bourbonier is also 1 lap down. Taylor Seneft is 3 laps down. Stephen Luttrell is 9 laps down, and Austin Johnson is 15 laps down. All cars are still running, but multiple cars, multiple laps down. Continuing to watch Nick Seipel. Christian Strader, by the way, on the left side of your screen, is driven away a little from Andrew Little. No pun intended. He'll take the triple-digit laps onto the board, and lap 100 is up there now. Next time by 60 laps to go. Battle out back. Hayden got around Modesty for the 10th spot. He'll get around Catrone for the 9th spot as he continues his pilgrimage back towards the front of the field. Matt Oakley Chevrolet's got 4 spots in front of him he could probably get. Up to at least Garrett Caswell, maybe Seipel. Seipel's kind of fallen off a cliff here on a little bit older tires. Don't think he took any on that last pit stop. Hayden's got 4 spots in front of him he could probably get. Carlson started to fade just a little bit in 4th. Maybe he could get all the way back up to position number 4. By the time we hit what will be our last pit stop of the night coming up. Little back within 7/10 of Christian Strader, so the race to the lead is not over. If it gets any closer, we'll head back up front. Irizarry crossover on Caswell. That's just ahead of these guys. That is for 6th. Irizarry turns underneath. Caswell throws a block. Irizarry gets in the back of him just a little bit. I would not be surprised if there's a little bit more contact here off turn 4. These two, man, no love lost. Hayden underneath Eldred, that's for 8th. And Caswell blocks off the 5 as well. Garrett Caswell's not making too many new friends in the Challenger Cup Series in his first 4 weeks. Irizarry got by him for 6. Now Hayden will look on him for 7. As Andrew Little pulls within 7/10 of Christian Strader. Well, he did for a moment. We'll continue to keep it here. This will be the battle for 7th in a moment. Irizarry catching Seipel for 5th. They're both catching Carlson for 4th. And Everett is closing in on the leaders now as well. Hayden to the outside. He'll look for the 7th spot on Garrett Caswell. Caswell blinks. Big blink that time, but no harm, no foul. Hayden to the bottom gets a big run off turn 4. To the inside comes the Oakley Chevrolet. That is for the 7th spot. Caswell ran him down, continues to run him down, and will keep the spot off turn 2. Eldred, will he try to get 8th on Hayden? No. And Hayden goes back to the fence. Travis Everett turning in some of his best laps of the night, some of the best of the race. But must have gotten the wall. He loses some of that time right there. And Irizarry has caught Seipel. That is going to be for 5th. Here comes the Motorcraft Mustang. Scheming on last week's winner. To the middle. One car's got it. One car's got the car off. I swear somebody turned their ignition off there into 3. We'll see this time by into 1. Caswell's going to move down for Matt Hayden. I think it might be Seipel that's got the car turned off. Let's see if that's the case. You're on board with Nick Seipel. Oh, yeah. How about that? It harkens me back, if you'll remember, if you've been with me for a long time. There was an OP Racing throwback race here at Dover a couple seasons ago where a driver by the name of Austin Collins, in his first career start, tried this here at Dover. He shut the car off, much like Kyle Larson did at Nashville in 2021, to try to conserve a few gallons of fuel and make it to the end. I think that's what Nick Seipel's doing right now, and it could turn out to be the winning call if he continues to conserve fuel the way he's been doing so far. In Challenger Cup Series competition last season, you'll remember that Hunter Carlson was able to do this at Kansas along with James Catrone, and they both were able to save a number of laps of fuel by shutting the car off on entry. Now, tighter turns at Dover, a little bit less off-throttle time. Means you can't really do it as much, but... Ooh, bump there from Seipel to Irizarry. But you still can try to do it, and that's exactly what Seipel has started to do. And I think, let's go up front, because I'm curious with these lap times if Strader has started to do it. You're going on board with the race leader. This is Christian Strader. Let's see if he's conserving fuel here at the front of the field. He's definitely lifting early, but he's not. He's definitely lifting early, but he's not off the throttle completely. Or he's not in the clutch. Let's see if Little is. Nope. How about Everett? Nope. How about Carlson? Nope. But Seipel is, and Irizarry's kind of just using it to his advantage to run that slower pace and potentially save some gas with him. And this is so interesting, man. I love strategy races. As many of you know by now, that Kansas race last season was one of my favorites. And this is going to be a fun one if it finishes like this. Travis Everett's turned in some more of his best laps of the race. He's only 2.4 seconds back of this lead duo here. And is coming in a hurry. A Bristol winner from last season. Or should have been the Bristol winner from last season, pardon. Talladega winner from last season, though. Should have won Bristol. Had the best car, was not able to. Loves these kind of short ovals and is now pulling big time chunks of that gap off. He is 0.2 of a second faster than both of the leaders right now. And he's closing. 24.72 for Strader. 24.63 for Everett is just a little bit slower than he has been, but we'll see if he can gain any more of that time back as the leaders continue to work their way around this track. Next time by 45 to go. We are closing in on the final window for green flag pit stops here at Dover. The finish of tonight's race coming up very shortly. A quick programming note, and we'll have to see, and again, this is very speculative at this point, but should this race finish under green and not run past about the 10 o'clock-ish range, we're going to quickly wrap up tonight's coverage. We'll allow for the celebration while we're going through the finishing results, and then we will quickly wrap coverage as I don't want to say double booked, that's not the right words to use, but another commitment just after 10 o'clock tonight. And I like to be transparent on this network, so I'll be fully transparent with you. Is that I would like to participate in tonight's Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder Championship race coming up at 10:15 here on PGR eSports with Mike and Ron in the booth. I would like to participate in that event, and it starts about 10:15. So if this race gets over with about 10 o'clock, we'll be wrapping coverage pretty quickly so I can head on over there and get set up to race. So there will be no post-race interviews. Again, if this race does not, if this race ends, under green on the run we're on right now. Car on pit road, Travis Everett, Brandon Beauchamp as well. Rusty Modesty's made his pit stop, as is Matt Hayden. Greg Bourbonier is on pit road, and so is Harold Rothery. Pit stops underway for the final time at Dover. Car to watch, Seipel, I would say. Irizarry got by him for fourth. Andrew Little's on pit road this time. GT Irizarry coming to pit road this time. Everybody else going to stay out. Nobody else appears to be making a pit stop. It'll leave just 6 cars out that have not yet pitted. But yeah, if this race continues on and ends under green, Schrader will make his pit stop. There'll be no post-race interviews. We'll do them pre-race, if possible, next week. When we get to... Shoot, I cannot remember where we go next week. I can't remember where NASCAR goes next week. Anyways, Christian Strader on pit road, the leader. Hunter Carlson, Garrett Caswell, James Catrone, GT Irizarry, Andrew Little, they're all on pit road. 2 cars left to pit. Seipel is one of them, Eldred is the other, and these are going to be very interesting cars to watch, because now, depending on how far they can go, is going to mean whether or not I think they can make it on one more stop. Cody Eldred's going to make his pit stop here on lap 121, as Seipel inherits the lead on lap 122. 39 to go for Nick Seipel. He will have to make a pit stop, but if he can make it long enough, this is going to be really interesting. He'll make his stop here with 38 laps to go at the line. He'll have 38 laps to make it on this final tank of fuel to capture his 2nd straight win. Seipel on pit road maintains the lead. And a call on pit road, no tires, or at least 2 tires, for Travis Everett, who will inherit the race lead should he get back around to Nick Seipel, who is just now getting to his box. Everett is now down the back. Seipel's up on the jack. I wonder if he knows that Everett's taken 2 tires. Seipel not rolling. He's going to go up on the jack on the left side, and Everett will inherit the lead. 38 to go for Travis Everett. One of the final 4 season to go. Season 1 of 2025. Travis Everett captured a win at Talladega to lock himself into the playoffs, and then made a run all the way to Pocono. Missed that race, but still was one of the final 4 from last season, and now tries to hold off a hard-charging Christian Strader. That is not Strader. Strader's 4 seconds back. Seipel falls all the way to 8th on this pit stop, but you wonder now, he can go without likely having to save. You wonder how much ground he'll gain, or you wonder if he's in a good spot just based on being good to go on strategy. He also took a set of tires. He'll have the freshest tires in the field. But scratch everything. Caution. And unsure where this one is on the speedway. I believe it's going to involve Brandon Beauchamp. in the 15. Let's go take a quick look, and then we'll come back live. Coming off turn 2, Beauchamp. Oh, no, it was not him. Oh, boy, it was, though. Oh, and the engine expired on one of these cars. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it might have been Seneft. As Taylor Seneft got out of shape. Let's see if we can't get a better angle than this. Oh, that one doesn't really work. Let's just go to this one. Imagine to be the same story as all night. Oh, yeah, overcorrection. Seneft into the wall. Spins sideways. Hayden gets by, but then as he rolls back down, Beauchamp had committed. He gets right into the side of the Fana Chevrolet of Taylor Seneft. And Seneft goes right to the garage. And we'll go on board with Beauchamp here. I'll kind of show you what I mean. And again, it's kind of the same as earlier with Seneft, ironically enough, where you commit to a line and it just doesn't work. He's going to go to the bottom here. He's like, oh, he's staying up, staying up, staying up. And by the time you get to him, he's rolled down right into your lane. Not much time to react. And must have been Beauchamp's engine, or must have been Seneft's engine that expired here. Beauchamp's still under power. So Seneft goes to pit road. That's likely his night. He had already used his fast repair, and in fact, he's called it. Everybody else, I think, is still out on track. The only car out now, Taylor Seneft in 15th. Couple cars on pit road for service, but not many. Everybody's kind of made their bed at this point in terms of their pit service. As we have 35 laps to go, we'll have 33 to go when we go back green. Christian Schrader, Andrew Little, Hunter Carlson, Nick Seipel, and Garrett Caswell, your top 5. We'll get re-racked and restacked. Rest of the top 10. Matt Hayden will be 6th. Travis Everett will be 7th. GT Azirian 8th. Rusty Modesty 9th. Cody Eldred 10th. I believe Travis Everett might have just taken his last set of tires, so he might just have the freshest tires on the racetrack here. But he is logged back in P7, and track position has been pretty hard to come by tonight, so going to have to make it quick and try to find his groove early if he's going to beat the man on the point. Andrew Little, though, has kept it close with Schrader tonight. Hunter Carlson's been good. Seipel's been good. Really, it's about the 7 best cars all night. No offense to anybody else in the field, but it's really been about the 7 best cars on raw speed that are currently running 1 through 7. The cream rose to the top, and now it's time to settle it. 33 laps to go at Dover. This could be the last restart. Watch out for the rear tires on the jump. It's Christian Schrader in the lead, looking for win number 2 on the season. Green flag back in the air. We're backing away from Dover. Good jump for Christian Schrader. Seipel right to the bottom. He wants 2nd immediately. The Premier Racing Setups Mustang found himself a hole and now looks for 2nd. He may try to look for the lead. Schrader trying to get his car underneath him. Matt Hayden is 4th. Andrew Little reeling now. He's back in 3rd. Seipel gets 2nd in turn 3. Hayden rolls up the track trying to get that top to come in. He'll try to get 3rd from Little as Seipel looks for the lead on Schrader. Modesty out back. He wants a position from Travis Everett. That's for 8th. Everett not the best restart in the world here. Aziri got by him. Trouble out back. Cars were starting to go around. We keep it green for the moment. One car out of shape on the bottom side. That's Hunter Carlson. We continue to keep it green. Carlson may have knocked the wheel out of that car. It looks like he did. It looks like, well, maybe not. Doesn't look like any wheel damage. Back up front. Schrader continues to lead. It's 31 laps to go. And we keep it green after a chaotic restart. Schrader by 5/10, 4.5 here off of turn number 2. Seipel is catching him little by little. And ironically, no pun intended again, it's Andrew Little running 3rd. Can Seipel get back to Schrader? It's a battle of former winners. Oh man, Seipel just pounded the outside wall. Hayden is 4th. He wants to win number 1. So does Little. So does Caswell. So does Irizarry. The only 2 drivers up here that have won are the 1 and 2 cars. With Luttrell multiple laps down, everyone from 3rd on back is yet to win here in this 2nd season of 2025. Caswell's yet to win in his Challenger Cup Series career. 29 laps to go. Schrader, Seipel, duel once again. much like they did last week at Sonoma, but the roles are reversed. This time, it's the Reese's 29 out front. It's Seipel doing the chasing. Schrader looking for win number 2 in 3 weeks. Seipel looking for win number 2 in 2 weeks. 28 to go. Another Challenger Cup Series Classic is brewing at Dover. Andrew Little's not out of this thing yet in third either. If these guys up front get to battling. Neither is Hayden, neither is Caswell. As Irizarry starts to run him down, perhaps some contact coming between those two cars. Ooh, Schrader in the wall, Seipel in the wall. These guys are finding the limit as Schrader starts to drive away. 27 to go. Down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Still continues to be Christian Schrader leading the way. And really no one's made any major advances on him. Seipel losing a little bit of time. He's trying to find the ultimate limit. Little starts to catch him. Hayden starts to catch both those cars. And Schrader starts to try to see the sunset. At the line next time, 25 to go. Christian Schrader leads by 9/10 of a second. Now you just start to hit your marks. If you're the 29, you're still gaining on Seipel. 25 laps to go. Back in the field further, Travis Everett got back to 7th. Has not made any noticeable gains on Schrader, but now starts to pick up some time. But you got to think, is it too little, too late? He is the fastest man on track, but it's not by much. This lap's going to be a notably better one, though. We'll keep an eye on the lap times back to Everett, but he's got to make 5 passes before he can even get to the leader. 24:34 for Schrader, 24:19 for Garrett Caswell, and a 24:10 for Travis Everett. Fast cars behind the leader Schrader right now, but do they have enough time to get there? Everett's going to be the interesting one, but he and Caswell both break even with the leader that time by 23 to go. Seipel starts to pick up a little bit there in the middle of 1 and 2. He picked up a 10th. Little picked up a 10th. Caswell losing a little bit of time, so is Everett. And Little's moved up the track now. He's gone to the wall. He's going to try to just do something different, and it's so far working. Irizarry has caught Caswell. That's for 5th as Caswell fades just a little. Schrader continues to look in his rearview mirror, perhaps managing his gap here. 22 to go for the multi-time Challenger Cup Series winner and the Chicago Street Course winner back in race 2. Off turn 4, 21 more miles around Dover. Fastest car on track currently as they run is still Travis Everett. The problem is he just is not showing on the interval as gaining a ton of time. He's gaining a little, but again, I think it's too little, too late. For the driver of the 13, who you could argue probably should have won on the pit strategy, I just don't know if he has time to get there. Andrew Little does if he gets back by Nick Seipel, though, and this is for 2nd. Little to the outside, Seipel defends it nicely. Is able to get back around, but here comes another challenge as Matt Hayden closes on both of them. Little to the fence. Hayden running the middle behind them as Caswell's in a hornet's nest with Irizarry and Everett. Here comes Andrew Little. Hayden bounces off the fence. Doesn't seem to faze him very much. Andrew Little, if he can get by Seipel, will just have to look out the windshield and hope that he can run faster lap times than the man who's led the most laps tonight, Christian Schrader. Looking to finish the job. At the line, it'll be 18 laps to go. Little still works on the back of Seipel. That's for 2nd. Hayden is back and forth chasing these guys as Caswell tries to hold off Irizarry and Everett a little further behind. Fastest car on track that time is Caswell, but nobody more than about a half a tenth faster than the leader. Battle was for 5th, but no battle anymore. They just can't get closer than a 2nd. 17 to go. Little continuing to work on the back bumper of Nick Seipel. Trying to hack away at it. Battles back on for 5th out back with Caswell and Irizarry. And GT's finally going to get that spot. He may throw it on the nose of Caswell here off of 4. With these two, no love lost. Oh, boy. Caswell hangs tough. Contact, he turns him! Irizarry turns the 77 of Caswell. What a save! Uh-oh. I don't know if I'd have done that. If I'm Irizarry, I got to really hope now that Caswell gets back to the back of you got to hope he does not get back to Irizarry. And he'll be on a warpath if he gets there. We'll keep an eye on it. Garrett Caswell. No love lost tonight with GT Irizarry, who gets his payback for Atlanta. Back up front, Christian Strader continues to lead. But Seipel now starts to reel him back in. It's 0.8 of a second. 14 to go at the line for Strader. He looks to get the job done. Seipel trying to chase, and again he gets the wall. And he's just not gaining much. By the way, Travis Everett got by Garrett Caswell. That was for 6th. Caswell now back to 7th. And now Strader is the fastest car on track. But Seipel is hanging around. He's trying to just hang tough and try to get a little bit at a time. 13 to go. On the backstretch, gap holds even at 0.8 of a second. Really, no one's gaining anything notable except Travis Everett. And again, it's too little too late with 4 seconds back and only 12 laps to go. There's just not enough time. 12 to go at Dover. It's still Christian Strader by 0.9 over Nick Seipel. Lap traffic ahead. I don't know how much of an issue it will be. I'm not exactly sure which car that was. I couldn't really tell from that camera angle that we had. 11 laps to go at the line. Strader, Seipel now 0.7 back. He chops away at it again. This one's not over. Strader, you just can't overdrive here. Seipel's going to have to be driving harder than he wants to get back to the 29. If you're the 29, you just hit your marks. You're on about 90%, and you hope that's good enough to hold off the charging 75 of Seipel. 0.7 separate the leaders. Single digits this time by. 9 laps to go. Again, Seipel, look at him. He's using every inch of available racetrack. Strader has about 1.5 feet of buffer off turn 2 and turn 4. The difference in the driving mindset here late in the race is very obvious. Strader just trying to manage his stuff and maintain the gap that he has. Seipel trying to drive the wheels off of it and get back to him. Catching him, though, is one thing. Passing him is another. 8 laps to go. Battle for the 4th position potentially shaping up between Matt Hayden and GT Irizarry. We'll quickly go back here to cover this battle. Travis Everett is coming into this one as well. As Strader will come around to 7 laps to go. The gap stays right about 7.5, make it 0.7 flat. As Irizarry tries to get the 4th spot from Hayden. Caswell under fire for 7th. That's from Eldred. As Irizarry on the tire tracks of Hayden now dives a half a lane lower. Gonna take a peek potentially to the inside for the 4th spot. He'll drive off into 3. He'll drive right to the bottom. Big lunge from GT Irizarry. Can he get by the 5 car of Hayden? No, they'll race side by side down the front straightaway. 6 laps to go. More contact from Irizarry to Hayden as they roll off into turn 1. Hayden on the high side, Irizarry on the bottom. Can Hayden hold tough with Irizarry? He can. And again, Hayden continues to battle as Everett's now into this one as well. Irizarry again, another lunge to the bottom. This time he'll get the spot. Hayden going to try to get back to his right rear off turn 4. He'll have to likely lift. He will. Everett's going to make it 2 for 1. He'll get 5th away from Matt Hayden. And now both of those team cars go through to 4th and 5th position. Back up front, and he's driving away. The 29 of Christian Strader. at the line. 4 laps to go, and Seipel fading further and further in his rear view mirror. He tried everything he could, but he may have just burned his stuff up. Trying to get back to straighter. And it may be all she wrote. It's 2 seconds. Seipel's fading, and straighter now just 3 miles away from victory. Everett looking for fourth position on his teammate GT Irizarry, but now that battle fades. Strader, boy, he's just hoping to get 1.5 more miles in and see the white flag. Back around to Barney the Flagman. He'll see popsicle sticks this time by. 2 laps to go in Dover for Christian Strader. Andrew Little has caught Nick Seipel. That's for second. As Everett catches Irizarry for fourth, a pair of influential battles on the racetrack getting underway. I don't think Little will get quite close enough to Seipel. Everett, though, is right on the back bumper of the Irizarry car. Off turn number 4, race will be official. White flag is up. 1 lap to go at Dover Downs. It got fishy for him on pit strategy with Seipel and with Everett and with others. With some incidents earlier in the race with spinning his tires. But at the end of the day, a dominant effort can never be denied. Off turn 4, the first multi-time winner in the Challenger Cup Series in Season 2 of 2025 is the 29 of Christian Strader. He wins at Dover. And Andrew Little has crashed here off turn 4. He loses second and third, so it's Seipel and Irizarry that come home second and third, and Little manages a 4th place finish after he had some contact with the wall off turn number 4. Well, Strader will celebrate. We'll allow him to do so. As he is doing so, we'll go through tonight's finishing results. As he celebrates in the background, kind of creates a pretty interesting visual. As he begins to celebrate, the driver from Virginia Beach, Christian Strader, is your winner. Nick Seipel comes home second tonight with GT Irizarry in third, Andrew Little in fourth, and Travis Everett rounding out the top 5. Matt Hayden finishes 6th tonight, Garrett Caswell in 7th, Cody Eldred in 3rd, Hunter Carlson in... Good grief. Cody Eldred in 8th. Hunter Carlson in 9th. And Rusty Modesty rounds out the top 10. James Catrone finishes 11th. Greg Bourbonier in 12th. Harold Rothery in 13th. Austin Johnson in 14th. Stephen Luttrell in 15th. Brenna Beauchamp in 16th. And Taylor Seneft in 17th. Well, now in Kowicki fashion, Christian Strader will burn it down after a portion of a Polish victory lap at the Dover Motor Speedway, as he has completed a really stellar effort tonight. And he will complete his celebration. And we will start to wrap up our coverage from Dover Motor Speedway. Again, a quick note about programming. As we will not be doing post-race interviews, we will interview Christian Strader, Nick Seipel, and GT Irizarry pre-race next Tuesday night, if possible. We'll get them in. We'll start early. We'll get them in on the broadcast early next Tuesday night, and we will begin with those interviews at the top of the show. Well, we'll quickly start to wrap up our coverage here from Dover Motor Speedway. Again, unfortunately, I've kind of double-booked myself tonight, so unfortunately not going to be able to get to those top 3 interviews, but again, we'll do them next week. A chaotic one from Dover, spun tires, guys wrecking off pit road, guys wrecking on the restart, fuel strategy, guys turning their cars off. This race had a little bit of everything, and it was a fun one. Dover does not seem to disappoint. Several different leaders, comers and goers all night on tires and on strategy and what have you. It was a really interesting race with the track temp being as it was and the tire wear being as it was. It made for a really interesting race, and certainly a fun one to watch and a fun one to call throughout the course of tonight's event. Sorry, I'm looking up at my other monitor as we're doing this here. But no, a fun night from Dover. Looking forward to moving on in the schedule. We'll be heading to Indianapolis next week. How can I forget? It's Brickyard 400 week in real life. But we're headed to Indianapolis next week for what should be another unique race. That's another weird place to drive. Dirty Air is rough there as well. The tires are going to be really interesting there also. So a lot in the cards for next week in terms of what we can expect from Indianapolis. That will be a very fun race to be a part of. Cannot wait to get out to the Brickyard and take our first trip there for the Challenger Cup Series, at least with me on the call. Can't wait to be a part of that one. Thank you so much for watching tonight. To everyone who came out in the chat, it was nice viewership tonight. The viewership for this series has gone up this season, and I really appreciate that. I know the league admins do as well, and the guys that have allowed me to call tonight's race. Shout out to them, to Rusty and to Matt, and to all the guys over here at Challenger that make this thing go. The viewership is going up. The car counts are going up. We've got a good thing going here on Tuesday nights, and hopefully it can continue to be that way going forward as I continue to look forward to the rest of the season. I'm going to keep doing it as long as they'll keep letting me come up here and blab into a microphone. I'm going to continue to do it. So happy that you all join me for another Tuesday night. Hope you're enjoying the start to this season. Coming up in about 15 minutes, it's the Ron Morris Racing Tuesday Night Thunder Championship Race. The Next Gens from Talladega as the championship event tonight in Ron Morris Racing. I think it's Talladega. Let me verify that before I tell you. But it should be Talladega Super Speedway for tonight, I think. It is Talladega. Good grief. I don't even know. I'm having a look at that. Head on over. Broadcast will be live about 10:15. Michael Triscaro, Ron Morris Jr. on the call. And a top 4 battle going on, the 5th through 8th battle going on. It's one of the best series of racing on the Super Speedway side of things every week. Can't wait to be a little part of that race coming up here in about 15 minutes. Later in the week, Thursday night, it's Intimidator Super Speedway Series action in Q3 as we continue on towards the SummerSlam 499. Get a look at the schedule for this week. As July 24th comes up, it's the new Gen 4 car, the 2003 bodies at Daytona this week. I should be back on the call for that one. That one should be fun on Thursday night. And then next week is the big one for PGR as a whole. It'll get started with the final recruitment race on Monday night as the deadline hits to get entries in. If you want to enter the SummerSlam 499, join the recruitment race for a free entry on Monday night, or go to PGR eSports.com, get your name in, fill out all the information there, and your name will be added to the hat for a chance to win $1,750 and also a championship belt. Then Tuesday, we're back here with Challenger Cup Series racing from Indianapolis as we continue on with race 5 of the season, and then it's the granddaddy of the summer. It's the SummerSlam 499 getting started Thursday night next week, July 31st, with 3 heat races. It gets kicked off at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time right here on PGR eSports. Can't wait to get that event started. 3 heats Thursday night, 3 heats Friday night, 2 heats on Saturday afternoon, 2 dual races on Saturday evening, and the granddaddy of them all, the SummerSlam 499, the biggest sim racing event of the summer, Sunday afternoon here from Talladega. Can't wait to be a part of that event. Hope you'll join us then. Hope you'll join us next week from Indianapolis as Challenger Cup Series racing returns as well. Can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight from Dover. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports coverage of the Challenger Cup Series. Until next time, good night.